What's up, YouTubers, day traders, and market participants? Your boy is back with another episode. And when there's a will, there's a way, guys. The market has been on fire, undeniably for 6, 7 months now. So now we are coming to crucial levels where we can see a reversal happen. But do not jump into puts just yet. On Thursday and Friday, we saw some hit new highs, selling pressure come in through the day. The government shutdown is still looming, and it's getting people to start kind of getting worried, right? But do not jump in. The market can still keep going higher. It can be irrational longer than you can be solvent. So do not try to jump in front of it. That's how you can lose money very quickly. I'm just gonna go over a few plays that I'm looking at. Like I was saying last week, cryptocurrency looked good, and what do we have? We had some banger moves on Bitcoin, Coin, Mara, be a new stock that I'm going to be looking at, BMNR. That is like more of Ethereum. You have IBIT as well that did a great move. And then I want to go over some growth plays that look good, and I got plays for everybody, and then some value stocks that also look very good. So without further ado, guys, let's get into the charts. All right, guys, you already know how we do. We start off with the SPY, which is the overall market, right? Just kind of a generalization, top 500 companies. So this was the last week candle. Looks very, very solid. Looks good. Basically, there's not much to say about it. It looks just like this one, looks just like this one. So very, very good week. What I do want to bring to the attention is we had that peekaboo high that I was saying on Thursday where we hit a new high and then price sells off. Not only did we do that on Thursday, but we also did that on Friday as well. So you can tell that some people are kind of just there, like they're basically say, give me a reason to sell, give me a reason to lock in these profits. That's kind of how I see it. So when they went from government shutdown being maybe 10 days to 15 days, I feel like that's when we saw that drop happen in the midday. That was the news that sparked it. And I feel like that's just an excuse to sell to lock in profits because we've been riding and so high for so long. So that's how I feel about the SPY. I haven't really jumped into too many puts yet. I'm kind of waiting on it. I have puts, but they're all the way. They don't expire until November. So I'm kind of hoping, well, we'll see what happens. But maybe I have to average into them if we keep going up. But like I said, don't rush into it. I don't think it's good. So let's talk about some growth stocks that are hot right now. Basically, why am I looking at growth stocks? Because we just had the Fed say they're going to cut interest rate 3 times this year. Next year, we don't know, but Fed Jerome Powell is being exchanged because Donald Trump does not like him, basically, and they're going to put somebody in the position who's going to just basically listen to Donald Trump and just basically do whatever he wants to do, which kind of means probably more rate cuts down the line. And rate cuts basically help small growth companies grow because the leash around their neck, around their profits, they're loosening that. When we increase rate hikes, that shortens their leash so that their profits and their growth is limited. But if we start cutting those rates, then small companies can do better, right? So why do I like Archer? Archer's in key areas, right? It came up to this moving average right here, which is your 200 moving average. As you can see, every single, and this is the daily chart, as we were here, pop up, as we were here, pop up. Now we were here earlier. We spent some time under it, right? But what happened in the most recent days of price action? You can see you can see high volume coming in from this huge green candle, just showing that a key player has stepped in. But you can kind of see the entire time the volume has been way elevated than it was in the last few months. So I see Archer as being good. You can kind of take your time to get in here. I don't know if we'll just get like another explosion right away. If we get another explosion right away, then that could be crazy and we're gonna see some crazy highs very, very fast. But I think since we just had this huge candle come in on high volume, you're kind of jumping. If you look at the weekly chart in June and July, we have this area right here between 12 and 13 where I see is kind of a take profit area. So we might see some bears want to load up here around the 13, 14 to push it back down. So maybe we consolidate here a little bit more before it takes another run, but I do like Archer, right? Another growth play that we can get into is BBAI. BBAI also looks very good if you were to look at the weekly time frame here, holding these levels, push up. And then we had a good green candle this last week that basically solidified the price action and says that we can basically go up. And I like what we have here. If we were to draw a line from the top to bottom of this previous move that it made, and you can actually cut it in half, and you'll see that it looks perfect for a retracement. And basically, we can take this leg right here, this leg that went from four, whatever, let's see what that is, the low of 4.7 to the high of 737 $7.37. Basically, that leg, you can add that leg to the bottom of this spot right here, the bottom of this move, and that would be your next price target, whatever that new target is up top. So I like BBAI. Basically, if it can hold up above $8.05, I think we can see some new highs here. That would be very, very good. So I believe I have one more here for the growth sector, and that would also be Celsius here. Celsius is also making great moves. It's back above all of its moving average, which is very, very good. It's very, very solid. I was a buyer in here just because we came close to this white moving average here. And that is for a long-term pickup in my eyes. I like to see that. So I got here around here, started trimming up here, but I still see when I look at the weekly chart, we just had a very, very strong week in the sense where we took back over this eight moving average. We closed above it, which is a great sign. And now we got basically a bunch of green taking out two red candles here, knocking those out. So I see 6-2. I see new highs coming in the next week or two. If things look good still for the overall market, we could, open up at 60 and it could just flush and you can get a nice and you can get an ugly red candle right here taking over the weekly candle, then we would see some signs that we're going back down to like 49, 48 maybe. So definitely speculative, and this is all what this game is, guys. It's all about probabilities. So when you enter a position, make sure you have your risk set and then see if your probability is going to play out. That's all you can be sure of is that this game is all about probabilities. Nothing else is for certain. So now I do want to go over some of the cryptocurrency plays. I was screaming the buy here for Coinbase. Absolutely. This was the last week. I don't know what day was this. 2 weeks ago, 925, 926. I was loving Coinbase. And then before you know it, the next week happens and you get this huge surge. So I'm actually going to be watching Coinbase for a little bit of a pull down. Hopefully we get a 2 or 3 day pull down at the beginning of the week. I would love to see it. And then I want to get in it because I think we're going to hit those all-time highs on Coinbase very, very soon in the next month or so. So I'm liking Coinbase for sure. And another one that's in that realm is BMNR. It's newer to the market, so not really much data to go off on the weekly chart. The only thing we can say is that last week the Bears or the Bulls came in and they pushed up off of this eight moving average successfully. So we'll see where we go from there. And then if you look at the daily chart, you respected there's no 100-day moving average yet because it's just came out, but it respected basically the green line here perfectly with the candles right here, another torpedo candle right here, right? It looks like we're just getting these wicks on the bottom, which is signifying that buyers are stepping in. So I can see this, especially if Ethereum goes to the roof, this will move, right? And I believe Ethereum just there was some government backing on Ethereum. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's what I saw in Friday's news. So I like where this is going. I want also this on a pullback. Honestly, it kind of gave you the pullback on Friday. This would have been a decent time to get into if you missed it here. This would have been another time to get into. I like buying on red candles because I'm an option player on days where it's red, options will decay, and it's kind of beautiful to see that just because that is the momentum of the stock for that day. So then the implied volatility will kick in on that option, making it sometimes worse than it needs to be. And then also on green days, sometimes making the option inflated more than it should be. So it's always good to be just a seller on green days, because then the stock could literally trade at the same price the next day, but your option will lose contracts or your option will lose value because the price didn't move. So that could be detrimental in a lot of cases. So I do like what we have here for this stock. And I believe we got one more for the crypto space that I like. Circle, I believe Core Weave looks very, very good too. I like Circle here. Lots of volume came in on what? On a giant, nice green candle, taking out all the local highs, which is just beautiful to see. Honestly, I should have bought on Friday. I did not buy on Friday. Thursday would have been the better day to buy, but that's okay. Gave you another chance on Friday to get in. That's why you shouldn't have FOMO, really. When things start to move, be patient because you sometimes always get another opportunity to get in. So Friday gave us a chance. I hope that we don't really just see this crazy over Monday. I haven't seen Bitcoin right now, but over, Monday opens up and all cryptocurrency has just already started to rocket, and Friday was maybe your last chance or whatever to get in before the next leg continues up. But I'm still not worried. Don't have FOMO, guys. But if you come here to the weekly chart, you actually have a pretty positive week, taking out green, taking out red, near moving average on greater volume than the previous week. So that looks good on Circle. However, the thing with Circle is the options are juiced with IV, which means basically there's a lot of speculative price action in it. So one wrong move in your non-desired direction, one wrong move in the opposite direction of where you're in the direction you're playing in, could just wipe out a lot of contract value. So I really don't like high value IV contracts. Really not my favorite. They just require specialized attention, and you just got to do your due diligence more on those type of trades, right? So um, let's get into more of the safer stocks here. I already mentioned SMR. SMR is not a safer stock, but I did mention it a few times. We're in a great area where I can see us start taking off. But like I said, if the overall market doesn't want to play along because we're pretty extended, I could see this pulling back. Pepsi. Pepsi goes with Celsius. They just, they announced a deal. And the reason I like Pepsi, I don't like that we're having trouble with this moving average here. I really don't like that we're having trouble with it. Every time we get to it, we sell off and then we just wicked a few times, but the wicks weren't that bad towards the end of the week. But what I really do like here is the last week green taking out red, higher volume, and that this purple moving average here is basically acting like a fence. It's acting like we're trending above it for 2 months now, right? And then now we pushed back into it, and now I want to see if it's going to catch it and be its support, which last week confirmed that we tested it and we got over it and we did better than last week. So that is a great sign for Pepsi to start moving up. We just have to see if it can get past this white line on the daily chart, which I believe it will. The weekly chart looks better um, than the daily chart so far. So that means this play will just maybe take longer to play out, which isn't a bad thing because I'm always buying options further outdated than the actual play. That way, if the play doesn't work, I lose less money than I would have if I was closer to it. And then if it works out, I still make money, right? It's all about making money. And losing less money because you can never not call a play right. You're always going to lose plays. Just when you lose it, you just got to make sure that it's a little, slap on the wrist, not a punch to the face, right? So, and then last but not least, let's review SoFi. I like what SoFi's doing. SoFi's just been a monster stock. It's been great, but I think we're slowly starting to come to buying areas. We may never see $20 again on this. It's possible for sure we could see $20 on it, but it's just been just kind of just grinding up. Now we hit 30. It's possible. Nothing is impossible, right? But $20 looks like an area where we could maybe get that, but I think that's going to be when the overall market does a correction. And who's to say when that could happen? That might not happen until January, February, or March of next year when the whole look of the next year changes, right? The whole vibe of next year changes. So we can see that maybe take into effect. But I like it at this level. I took my shot on Friday. I did buy this red candle, which is a gamble, right? Because I should have waited. I should wait for a green candle to form at this moving average. If we get the green candle right here, then that is the perfect opportunity where green has taken over red near a key moving average. So I did get in a little early. So we'll see. I'm hoping by Monday or Tuesday we get some green taking out this red will be perfect. If not, and we just continue to fall, that would surprise me because we've already kind of sold off pretty heavily from the top. However, it's still possible. So I'm keeping my eyes on SoFi. And if we do get that green candle right here, I only created a half size position here. I like to average into my plays. So I only created a half size here. That way, if it does reverse, I'm already kind of up a little bit. And then I can also still add to it because it is confirming that that it's looking good. The probability is setting up for it to continue. And I kind of want to increase my position size to carry it back up to this 30 and see if we get this double top, which then could lead to a whole different type of play. But as of right now, that's kind of what I'm seeing and hoping it plays out. All right, but that's going to be it for this video. Guys, remember, I am not a financial advisor. Do your own due diligence before you buy, sell, or hold any stock. I am not telling you what to do with your money. This is what I'm doing with my money. I hope you see some value in this. What are you guys looking at for this next week? What stocks? I do have a list. There's some good ones, some that, the high flyers, the big cap stocks that run the world, right? Amazon, Google looks good. Amazon looks kind of good. Snow looks pretty good. Home Depot looks pretty good. Are you guys looking at any of those? Or do you see some rotation going into value? Something I want to kind of look at the next week or two because I feel like October has always been where some stocks really take off, like UPS and FedEx. They look good too from a long-term perspective. And those are kind of like your backbone to not fully backbone, but you know what I'm saying. They're stocks and big companies that we all know and use on a daily basis, right? So seeing some of that growth come out of the crazy AI technology back to some of our staples that still run our economy. Do you guys see that rotation? Let me know down in the comments below. But until the next video, guys, hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Peace.